For the record, let me say this again because I don't want National NAACP coming after me. I'm Julius, President of Arlington Branch in NAACP. This is our June 2022 meeting. Thank you for attending, and we're going to open up with prayer. Sister Dunkley from our Religious Affairs Committee.
Dear Heavenly Father, we come, Father God, thanking you, Father God, for another day. Thank you, Lord God, for health and strength, Father God. Lord God, I thank you for each and every person that's on the Zoom on tonight. Lord God, let everything be done decent and in order. Oh God, bless the president, Father God, as he lead us, Father. Bless those that are not on the line on tonight. This is my prayer in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Sister Dunkley.
Mm-hmm.
With that being said, I'm going to call for a roll call of officers. Madam Secretary.
Yes, we have President Spain, who's present.
Yes.
First Vice President Kent Carter.
Present.
Second Vice President Sharice Kearns.
I don't think she's going to be with us tonight. She may join late.
Third Vice President Michael Heminger.
He's on travel.
Treasurer Roy Austin.
Present.
Assistant Treasurer Adriana Spain.
Present.
I'm Secretary Wanda Younger, present. Assistant Secretary Laurel Langhorne.
Present.
Executive Committee at Large Karen Nightingale. Karen Nightingale. Executive Committee at Large James Younger.
Present.
And Executive Committee at Large Simone Walker would not be present today. At Large Member Carolyn Kane.
Present.
Communications Leah Matterall.
She's on travel.
Criminal Justice Heather Kelly.
Present.
Economic Development and Labor Megan Brew.
Present.
Economic Development and Labor Maya Jones. Maya Jones.
She's not here yet.
Environmental and Climate Justice Gabrielle Cantor. Gabrielle
Present.
Cantor.
She's here.
Environmental and Climate Justice Kenyatta Clements. Kenyatta Clements. Housing Kellen Macbeth.
Present.
Housing Brian Coleman.
Present.
Political Action Jamie Abrams.
Excused.
Present also.
Oh, welcome back.
Political Action Megan Razor.
Present.
And Pastor Davis Religious Affairs will not be present. Religious Affairs Rosa Dunkley.
Present.
Scholarship Adora Williams.
Present.
That concludes roll call.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. I'm going to call for suspension of rules of our normal order of business so we can take care of the set forth agenda that has been shared. I'll call for any motion. James.
I move for suspension of the rules.
For a second.
Second.
Properly moved in second that we suspend the rules and accept the agenda in normal order of business. Are there any questions? Are there any questions? Are there any questions? There being none, all vote by coming off the microphone and saying aye.
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 All opposed.
Aye.
All opposed have the same right. Ayes have it. Motion carried. We're going to go again and welcome everyone to this meeting. We see people are joining. We're up to 57, so that's great. We're going to go now to our financial report. So give me just a second to bring, where are you at, Mr. Treasurer? I see you here. Let me get this going. I think we have your treasurer's report. Give me just a second. Get this going. Okay. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Good evening. Good evening. The Treasurer's report for the month of May 2022 is as follows. We'll start with our savings account. Beginning balance of our savings account was $361,841.39. There were no deposits or withdrawals, so the ending balance, $361,841.39. In our checking account, revenue, I'm sorry, let's try this way. Beginning balance was $25,603. Total deposits, $2,040.04. Expenses, $1,140.67. Our ending balance, $26,502.37. It should be noted, as you see below, donations received for the Understanding Structural Racism seminar to date, $2,838.84. That is the end of this report.
Okay, thank you. Put yourself on mute, Roy. We've heard the treasurer's report coming from our treasurer. I'm going to move that. Are there any questions about the treasurer's report? Raise your hand if you have any questions. Okay, we're going to order that. I'm going to order the treasurer's report filed and turned over to the audit committee and keep up the good work. Mr. Treasurer, thank you very much. Thank you for your hard work. So now we're at the point where I'm going to, and by the way, Roy, I'm going to tell a joke since we're all family. The executive director, well, excuse me, executive member, Garry Nightingale is now on the call, and she hit me up and said, you need to turn your light on when you give a presentation. Little jokey joke. So I'm going to provide you a few comments here over the next few minutes, and I'm getting my stuff together here. First thing I'm going to share with you, let me get this going here. Just a second. I want to share with you these numbers of our membership, which I think most of you should have seen already. Our membership is healthy, right? Right now. So I'm proud of where this branch is at as we come down to, the last 5 months or so of this 2-year administration. If we think about where we were 2 years ago, relative to where we are today, we've come a really long way. And we saw a increase in membership shortly after the tragic murder of George Floyd. But that being said, those memberships, a lot of those are only good for 12 months. We've seen a number of folks renew their memberships and continue to stay on the battlefield here with us at the NAACP. So as of yesterday, and thank you, Madam Secretary, for pulling this report, these numbers come from National NAACP and reflects who is on our rolls. So, 821 regular members, as those are our members that pay $30 a year. We have a couple of junior life, which are our under 18, and we've grown in Silver Life memberships. So Silver Life memberships are individuals that have paid $750 outright, and they are members of the NAACP for life. We also have 61 Silver Life subscribing, which are individuals who will pay $75 a year for 10 years, right? And they will ultimately get membership. Membership, right, regardless of the organization you're in, you need a healthy membership, really, to be active and to do the right thing. Our mission here at the NAACP has not changed. But I'm so proud of where we're at. And for many of you who are here on a holiday, right, a federal holiday, still showing up and showing out and being actively engaged, not only with the NAACP, but in our community. And because of your membership and because of your level of activism, your branch of the NAACP has been at the forefront of some of the most sensitive issues relative to our community, whether that's been in the education space, the environmental space, the criminal justice space, the housing space, which we're going to talk about a little bit later. We're going to show you a video. or the education space. So with that being said, again, I want to take a moment and you can come off video for just a second, because I think, let me stop my spotlight. All of you who are on this call right now need to give yourself a virtual round of applause. Okay, a virtual round of applause. Virtual round of applause. I'm proud of y'all, and I'm proud to be your leader. I'm proud that we're not over. It's not over with yet. Now, don't get me started. But I'm using this time today because, as today is the federally recognized day of Juneteenth, you think about how far we've come, right? But how much further we still have to go, right? You know, there are Blacks, African Americans in Texas who did not know, who was told late, basically, right? And I'm not going to give you a history lesson, because hopefully all of y'all went out to Juneteenth ceremonies and they were told late about, you know, that they were going to be free, right? And I was in one of the events yesterday, and not yesterday, but day before yesterday, and the guest speaker said, you know, are we really free? Are we still free, right? I would say, no. We're not. We're still fighting some of the societal ills and vices and that have prohibited people of color, Black folks, right, from achieving success in this nation of ours, right? So as we celebrate this day, we also should reflect, right, upon the sacrifices of many, right, who came before us. And also think about what's next, because there's always going to be a next, right? There's always going to be a next. And for us here at the NAACP in Arlington, I tell folks, it's like, you know, we're kind of like in a cocoon, right? Where, yeah, we see a lot of stuff going on outside the world, but we're not immune, right, from the many things that are taking over some communities, killings and white nationalism and all hatred, you know. And you're going to see, I talked about a video here earlier before, but everyone has a right. We have a right to a freedom of speech, but we also have a right to be respected. Okay, and so we at the NAACP, we do our best to respect our community, but also agitate our community at the same time in a good way, right? But I've seen some things as of late that also concerns me, because we have to practice strict decorum amongst each other and when we're dealing with our policymakers, right? And what we're embarking upon right now as our community is shifting, right? You're going to see some sides of people that you didn't think was there. And I'm talking about housing, okay? It's already rearing its ugly head, all right? So I want y'all to know that as long as we're here, the NAACP, we've been here since 1940, we're going to be fighting alongside our allies on that endeavor. And you'll hear more about that later. But to summarize, y'all keep up the good work. Keep supporting the NAACP, keep supporting our allies, keep supporting our faith-based organizations, right? Keep supporting our students. The summer is upon us, school's out. Our youth need guidance. They need programs. You know, I was brought up in the South, and my mom knew me say, you know, a idle mind is the devil's workshop. So we need to make sure that our youth are engaged during the summer while they're taking a mental break from school, and give them the program and make sure they're prepared when September comes around, all right? And with that, I think I'm gonna conclude. There was a lot of events this weekend. If many of you follow me on Facebook on behalf of the NAACP, I think they had me tapped out at about 4 or 5 events this weekend. but I'm still here, and my wife is looking at me sometimes sideways, like, I don't know how you do it, but I'm just blessed. And we're in this thing, and we're fighting hard for each and every one of you. So as I go back to the agenda for today, we're at time where we want to bring up our vice presidents and see if they have any remarks to bring to our membership. Again, thank you, each and every one of you. This is going to be a fun meeting. Some information is going to be shared. We're going to hear from our newly first, independent policing auditor, along with the co-chair. We're actually going to spend about 20 minutes talking about housing. From our housing committee, we're going to talk about the significance of tomorrow. Tomorrow is a very important day here in Arlington and around the area because it's primary day. So if you haven't voted, you haven't been to the polls yet, let's get out there and do this tomorrow. I'm not telling you what to do. Go out there and vote, okay? Please. So I heard the first VP on here, and I think the second VP may not be with us, and the third VP is on travel. So first VP, are you here, sir?
Yeah, I am, Mr. President. Thank you. I just wanted to welcome everyone. And, I'm really looking forward to hearing the remarks from the independent auditor. I'm really excited that, finally brought someone on. So just looking forward to her remarks. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. I would love to see your face, Mr. First VP, but that's okay. It's not your fault. You know how we do. I don't bite my tongue much. So look, we have a few more minutes. And is the second VP here yet? Or did she come on?
Not yet.
Okay, cool. It's a holiday weekend, and her daughter just graduated from Wakefield High School. So I think they're doing some things this weekend. And, kudos to her. There are a few elected leaders. I will take a moment to recognize a few elected leaders that are on the call. I see the chair of Arlington County Board, our county board, the Honorable Katie Crystal. Hi, Katie. Thank you for joining us tonight. I also see Takas, the Honorable Takas Karantonis. Thank you, Takas. Both of you had very busy weekends going places. And Katie, really liked that post you had with the young students on the bridge a few days ago. Am I missing anyone else here, Madam Secretary?
Brad Haywood.
Oh, well, no. Brad, I would, but I can't. But I'll say hello, Brad, to the public defender. Brad, will you thank you for being with us tonight as well, Brad. So anyone else?
Haven't arrived yet.
Okay, cool, great. All right, so with that being said, we're going to turn it over to our Economic Development Chair, Megan Brew. Hi, Kamiko Lottie, Restorative Justice. We're going to turn over to Megan Brew, who is going to talk about our Small Business Spotlight for this month. Megan, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. President, and hi, y'all. By way of introduction, my name is Megan Brew, and I am a co-chair of our Economic Development Committee. A heads up, the chat is disabled, so I will do my best to share this website with y'all. But our Small Business Spotlight for June is Dama Restaurant and Cafe. This restaurant has a really unique twist and a new website, so wanted to make sure that we could spotlight them. Want to take you over to their gallery. What is really unique about this group is they offer both incredible baked goods. So you can see here, baby shower cakes, christening, baptism, graduation. They basically have a cake for any occasion, folks, as you can see. But in addition to that, they also have authentic Ethiopian cuisine. So you see here all of the different dishes they have around dinner time. So a particularly unique mix here. Dama specifically is a longtime Arlington business. They've been around for over 20 years, which is wild and impressive. The founders, Kellam, Almaz, Halu, and Amsal, have been working together in the restaurant industry and have received high praise for everything from their baked goods to their pastries. So wanted to make sure everybody was aware of DAMA. Again, they are a community establishment and they are located on the Pike. Look out for an email straight to your inbox if you are a member. And again, you can see their website is damapastry.com. One thing I will highlight just to close us out here is BizLaunch has been working on a relaunch program, which includes different marketing trainings that small business owners can go through, one of which is revamping their website with the help of AWS. And as you can likely tell from DAMA, they have just run through that program. So you can see how beautiful their website is through the support of BizLaunch and AWS. So seeing our tax dollars at work here, supporting our small business owners. I will pause there. Yep, Steph, exactly. Parking lot is always full. Good sign for business, right? Thanks so much, y'all.
Are you done?
I think that's what I got for right now. Take it away. We got a full agenda.
Yeah, we do have a full agenda, and thank you, Megan, and welcome back. I know you were on a little bit of travel.
Yeah, I'm back for a while now. You can't get rid of me too fast.
All right, appreciate it. Thank you very much. Okay, and our second VP, excuse me, our third VP has joined us. Mike Hemminger, can you speak now? Mike? I know he's on the call. Okay, not currently, he can't speak. We'll bring him back later. You may be in transition. Okay, so that was great. And so what you notice is that we're out here, you know, lifting up our small businesses here in Arlington. We started this about 6 months ago, and it's been working, right? Because some of the businesses we've gone to have said not only just thank you, but some of the patrons that have showed up have said because they've seen some of our flyers or come to our meeting. That's what we do right here in our community. Get out, let's support each other. It doesn't always have to be top chain industry type organizations or businesses that you have to. Our local businesses need help too, right? So let's get out and patronize them as much as possible. Not telling you where to go, how to shop, but you know, for where we sit in the NAACP, we know historically, you know, our minority, small, you know, women-owned business types really are the ones that really need to get some help, right, from the community. So we're going to do our part along with our partners like Columbia Pike Partnership, and you know, who's led by Kimberly Klinger, who's, you know, executive director over there. They're doing a phenomenal job. So yeah, we're all just doing our part. So let's get out there and continue to do so. Speaking of the Columbia Pike Partnership, how many of you went out to the Blues Festival this weekend? Just raise your hand so we can just I can look over here and see how many people went. Okay, a couple folks. It was magnificent. 2 years removed. I think for what it's worth, it was jam-packed. A lot of folks showed up and showed out. So it was great for our community and great for Columbia. Yeah, the weather was perfect. All right, sticking with the agenda. Madam Secretary, has our guests showed up yet? Mummi or Garry?
I do not see their names.
Okay, not yet. It's probably gonna come on in a second. So this is what we're gonna do until they show up. We're gonna pivot over to Rosa. Are you ready to give your brief on religious affairs? You're muted, Rosa. You're still muted. Unmute yourself, Rosa. Okay.
Okay.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, religious affair report. We have attended the state religious affair committee meeting. The religious affair helped to plan the Juneteenth celebration in collaborations with Arlington coalitions of Black clergies. We had 2 successful voters registration drives. We provided a branch update over 40 faith committees. And we also had had Macedonia to open their doors for the COVID vaccines for anybody that wanted to come and get their shots if they hadn't had any. So, and that's gonna come again in July. I don't know exactly what date. So that's the end of the report.
Okay. Well, thank you to our Religious Affairs Committee and Rosa Duck. I know Pastor Davis is not with us tonight. I don't know if she's going on sabbatical, but the Arlington Coalition of Black Clergy did a bang up job this weekend coordinating the Juneteenth event, which I, along with the secretary, attended along with a few others, and Karen Nightingale and Macedonia was doing the vaccinations out there. So it was a jam-packed weekend. Thank you for what you continue to do, Rosa, and the Religious Affairs Committee, working with the state level. So again, thank you for that report. All right, I see that our guest has joined. And let me see, let me go and pull her over here. Here she is. Well, hello.
Hello, good evening. How's everyone doing?
We're doing fine. Is Garry, you want a minute or so? Is Garry going to join?
I believe he is. I was just scrolling through to see if he's here or not. I don't see him yet. I'm happy to go ahead and get started so that we can keep everyone on time. And I will send him a text message just to make sure that
we can do another report, and then we can come after that report. It gives you about 2 minutes or so to see if you can reach out to Garry. How about that? Then
actually, he reached out to me. I just saw. So Garry had to travel to Texas to care for his father.
Totally get it. All right.
They're having technical difficulties at his. He was still going to join, but he was having technical difficulties joining, so he's unable to join us tonight. But I will definitely be happy to speak in his place, and I can definitely talk for 15 minutes.
You say for 15 minutes. All right. Well, look, this is what we're going to do. Well, welcome. You and I think we've met already, and this is your first time coming to meet the members here at the NAACP Arlington branch. And as I look at the numbers here, we're at 76 members here, and it's actually a federal holiday, so it's not bad. Everyone on the call, I think we've put a lot of information out there about Ms. Ibrahim, who's here in her capacity as the first independent auditor here of our Community Oversight Board. And what we've asked her to do is just to come in, tell us a little bit about herself, her background, the Community Oversight Board, the committee, the makeup, can't talk but so much right now about, because there's some sensitivity surrounding that, totally get it. But just also talk about, and there's a couple questions that came in, Mummi, so I'll ask those at the end, but just give us a broad overview. We want to welcome you to Arlington County, you and your family, your daughter and the team. And so with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and shut my mouth and turn it over to you and let you go at it, okay?
Awesome. Thank you so much, JD. I appreciate the invite to come and speak to the Arlington branch of the NAACP. It's my honor and privilege to be here with you all tonight. I want to thank all of you all for tuning in, as JD said, on a holiday evening at that, to hear me share some remarks. And I also just want to commend all of you all. I know that the Arlington community showed up in a major way to make this happen, and I would not be here if it wasn't for each and every single one of you. So thank you for that. And thank you for showing the nation and for showing Arlington County that this is important to all of you. And I hope to serve in a way that always honors that. And I hope that you all will hold me to that standard of excellence. I hope to mirror your standard of excellence. I also see a bunch of my colleagues in the crowd this evening. So I just want to honor you guys for being here as well. And, just also extend my gratitude to you all for the vote of confidence to have been selected for this role. So again, my name is Mummi Ibrahim. I use she, her pronouns. I am a member of the Sudanese community. I was born in Sudan, raised in Northern Virginia, Richmond, Virginia, and Canada randomly. I'm a double HBCU graduate. I went to Hampton and Howard, both HUs. So you will see me claiming both of them, and it is not fraudulent. It is totally legit. So I don't want to hear any flack about that. So yes, proudly right, both HUs. I recently moved back to the area from New Orleans, Louisiana, where I practiced in criminal defense around sentencing reform, wrongful convictions, and served as both an attorney and a community organizer in those efforts. Then I began doing independent police monitor work in New Orleans as well. And that's the role that probably most informs the job that I have ahead of me in this role. But I would say that all of my roles working on behalf of juveniles who were excessively sentenced in the system, being in conversation and being informed by community members, whether they were in prisons or in churches or front porches or living rooms or whatever, all of that information was valuable and critical in me being able to serve my community as an attorney and as an organizer. And I attribute that greatly to any successes that I had in sentencing reform and in overturning wrongful convictions in the state of Louisiana. And I'm still continuing to see the fruit of that labor, right? Like people are continuously coming home because of efforts that I was able to lift up on behalf of the community there. So I always look back to that work and it continues to inform me and ground me. And I try to approach everything that I do from the grounding of community. So as an independent police monitor in New Orleans, just to give you guys a little bit of background of what I did in that role, I served as a contract attorney for the police monitor's office, the local police monitor's office. So New Orleans has two police monitor's offices, one that was as a result of the federal consent decree that was brought about by the Department of Justice. The federal consent decree in New Orleans was or is the most expansive consent decree in the entire history of the United States. This is not about New Orleans, but I promise I'm gonna tie the loop here. I just wanna highlight that to say that there was New Orleans and working with the NOPD down there and the strides that were made from the time the DOJ passed this extensive and very expansive consent decree to the time I moved back, which is like over a span of 10 years, was tremendous. And I think that was an experience where I learned trial by fire, and it was a ground zero experience in terms of just dealing with really, really far-reaching policing issues and really serious policing issues that, again, inform my work, but definitely bring me to this space in an informed but still open-minded way, right? Like I still want to be open to hearing about what is actually needed in Arlington County. But I definitely think that I got really expansive experience by working in the New Orleans Police Department and just seeing how much of a transformation especially local police oversight can make. So I just want to also emphasize that to say that this is not a check the box situation, right? Like this is a situation where we need all hands on deck and we need to be really approaching this in a manner that allows us to have really open conversations and to really search deep for substantive change. And that looks completely different, obviously, in Arlington County than it would in New Orleans. But I think the values are the same in the sense that we're looking for transparency and accountability, and we're looking to lift up the voices of the community. I'm serving as a community advocate to make sure that the narratives are heard and that these conversations are happening to connect the community to the people that need to that are in the positions of power within the police department, who can hear the concerns and make the changes that need to be made, and also to serve as a safe space where community members can come and raise their concerns if there are vulnerabilities that have not been previously addressed, or that would cause someone to feel the need to want to come to a place that's independent and have, just a second set of eyes, or someone to listen and hear what their concerns are. So that's the foundation of like why we need to do what we're doing. The model of it and the mechanism of it in Arlington County is shaping and developing, right? Like I like to say, building the car as we drive it. I'm the last person to kind of onboard. So the Community Oversight Board, which is a board of 9 community members who have volunteered their precious time to serve this community and serve as the second part and the very important part of this police oversight, right? Like it's not just me, it's a community effort in that it's both the Community Oversight Board and myself that comprise of the police oversight model here in Arlington County, which is also different from New Orleans. We didn't have a Community Oversight Board there. I also want to emphasize that as well, because I think that the model that Arlington County has placed before us, that you all have advocated so deeply for, is one that is just in such a tremendous state to really set us up for success, right? Like having a community oversight board, having an independent policing auditor with the power to do concurrent investigations is state of the art when it comes to police oversight. And I know that there's going to be some trial and error and some fixing things as we go and figuring it out and figuring out what the right fit is for Arlington County. But I just want to assure you, as someone who has done this work in other places and seen other models, you all did an excellent job in just finding the absolute best practices throughout the nation and putting all of the right ingredients together to create a model for Arlington County. So I think that's commendable. Another thing that I think is commendable is that the community took the steps to make this happen before a tragedy like a George Floyd or a Breonna Taylor or a Trayvon Martin, or just, the litany of names. We don't want another name, and we don't want another name coming out of this community for sure. So the fact that this happened before a crisis or a tragedy like that occurred in Arlington County, I think is so commendable, and also just puts us in a better position for success, because we are taking preventative actions to make sure that that does not happen here, and to make sure that we are shaping and modeling policing in Arlington County in a way that is meeting the needs of the community and models best practices in this country, or becomes the model for best practice in the country, right? So yeah, I think we're set for success. We are in a position where we are trying to figure out like how to put all the pieces together, right? Like the ordinance does a wonderful job of laying out all of the framework and all of the responsibilities. And now we're going to be, engaging in a lot of training, which is also required by the ordinance. There's about 60 hours of training that we have to do as a community oversight board and myself, just to make sure that we are not just serving you all with the best intentions, but serving you all as experts. We want to make sure that we are well informed about policing issues in Arlington County from a training standpoint, but also we will want to be engaging with the community and hearing from you all about the concerns. So we have a well-rounded, fully informed view as we're shaping some of our internal kind of structures, like a bylaw or a memorandum of understanding, which we call the MOU. You'll see that referenced in the ordinance. And that's just a document that's going to help us outline the roles and responsibilities of all the different parties that are going to be involved in policing oversight in Arlington County. So I know today is just kind of like a meet and greet type of thing, but I really hope that you all will welcome us back for an opportunity, along with my colleagues on the Community Oversight Board, to hopefully in the fall or by the fall, once we complete our training and have started community engagement, we'll be in a better place to give you all some more concrete details about exactly how the structure is going to work and that sort of thing, and get your feedback along the way. But I'm happy to answer any questions, JD, that you have for me now.
Yes.
If I don't know the answer, I will say I don't know it. I'll get back to you.
Yeah, that
But,
was
I hope I can.
So thank you. Thank you for that. We did receive a few questions in advance, and some of these questions I believe cannot be answered right now until you at least get through your training, do some evaluation, and I'll just read through them just because people took time to ask these questions, and then I'll just choose one. The first question was, what support do you need to be successful that you do not currently have? So I don't think you can answer that right now until you do some evaluation on the backside. The other question was, what procedures are in place to ensure that policing will not be unduly influenced by the county manager? We could skip down for right now. What committee will follow the activities of the Oversight Board and Policing Auditor? And I will leave you with this question. I think this is one maybe you can jump on. What's your strategy for remaining independent of the police department and the county government officials?
Sure. Yeah, and I think in answering that question, I could probably highlight a couple of answers in some of the other ones. So I know that even prior to me onboarding, there was a lot of our conversation, if you will, about whether I should be reporting to the county manager or the county board. And ultimately, I'm in a position now where I am reporting to the county manager. I want to assure people that not only am I the type of person that is not going to be swayed by, who I report to. I'm a community advocate first and foremost, right? But also I just want to ensure everyone that even if I wasn't that type of person, there have been so many things put in place to make sure that even the appearance of any sort of interdependence or bias or influence is taken away, right? I'm in a completely different office from the county manager. Aside from just being involved in my hiring process, there is no other involvement. He does not manage my day-to-day decisions or manage what my priorities should be or anything of that nature. Certainly not only the county manager, Mark Schmortz, and also the county manager staff, they've made themselves more than available to not just myself and also the community oversight board in terms of just making sure that we have the resources and the support that we need to do our job. But it's been made very clear that we are also fully supported in having the autonomy and the independence that we need in order to do our job successfully and to do our jobs to represent the community's concerns and priorities. So that is definitely that's definitely in the back of our minds in every step and every decision that we make. We always want to make sure that there is no conflict of interest that we can anticipate. There's no appearance of bias or impropriety. So, with that being said, I think that we're doing the best possible job that we can. But also, to just kind of talk about the independence from the police department, right? It's similar to what I would describe as, when I was serving as a criminal defense attorney. Even though my job as a criminal defense attorney is to represent my client zealously, fully, to the best possible extent, of the law, and going beyond that, right? Whatever I needed to do to make sure that my client's needs were at the forefront of the case and relayed to all the concerned parties, that was always my number one motivation. However, in order to do my job successfully, I needed to also be able to build relationships with other stakeholders who are involved in the process, professional relationships, ones that, fostered accountability and transparency. But, if I'm using that analogy, right, if there is an opportunity for me to seek a non-adversarial process or to seek better sentencing or to seek overturning of a conviction by talking to a judge or talking to a prosecutor, of course, I'm going to want to make sure that I'm in the best possible position to advocate on behalf of my client, but always keeping my client's needs and concerns at the foremost. So similar to that, right? Like, I'm here as a community advocate, but obviously in my job, I'm also going to want to have those relationships with the Arlington County Police Department and the people who oversee their investigations, because I'm going to be concurrently collaborating with them to make sure that those investigations are done according to policy and done in a way that meets the concerns of the community. So my position is that we need everybody at the table to make change happen. And we all just have to remember, you know, what our priorities are and stay grounded in whatever the common ground is that's bringing us together to do this work, which is, I think, that we want transparency and accountability as it pertains to policing in this community. People want to be valued, people want to be heard, and people want, you know, that done in a way that's equitable. And so that's what I'm here to do.
Thank you. Thank you. Before you leave, I know you've had your first meeting, maybe your second meeting already with your team. Could you tell the audience when is your meetings are open to the public now, right? Your monthly meetings. Could you share with us what day that is of the month?
Yes. So actually our next meeting is tomorrow,
Oh,
from 6 to
okay.
9. So the way that we have, and this all just happened in the last meeting, which also, by the way, all of the meetings are recorded on Teams. So if you can't join them in real time, you can go back and watch the recording of it. It should be uploaded onto the Arlington County website. So at our last meeting, which was last Tuesday, we decided that moving forward, we're going to have our community oversight board meetings on the first and the third Tuesday of every month. So there's actually 2 meetings a month. Originally it was supposed to just be 1, but because we have such a rigorous training schedule ahead of us, we decided to add a second meeting.
Oh, wow.
That second meeting, right? Dedication, right? That second meeting is strictly just for training. So the first meeting of the month will be to handle any sort of outstanding business. Likely that will be limited to an hour, maybe a little bit more if there's, you know, a lot of things to discuss. And then we will be dedicating an hour of that meeting also to training. So there'll be 4 hours of training every week. The second meeting, I'm sorry, every month. The second meeting on the third Tuesday of the month will be strictly training, and that will usually be 3 hours. So the first one of that full 3-hour training session is going to be tomorrow. The only training session that will probably not be open to the public is any trainings that involve like tactical type of trainings that involved the Arlington County Police Department. Those will be in closed session, but everything else will be open to the public and recorded on Teams.
Well, thank you. Let's give Ms. Ibrahim a virtual hand clap, everybody. Thank you so much for being with us. And again, I know it's early on in the process. We will stay in contact with you. And I know we've met, but in due time, we'll have you come back and perhaps meet with our Criminal Justice Committee, and we'll talk through a few things. And then ultimately, bring you back, you and your team back to open it up and so the community can ask some questions at that time. Okay. But again, on behalf of all of our members, I know, you're still getting, on the backside of getting a little sickness here, so I won't hold you long. But we thank you for being with us this evening. Stay safe. The NAACP is here to work with you and your team. So if you need us, just call on us and we'll be there. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. All the best.
Thank you.
Everybody needs to tune in tomorrow night. Tune in tomorrow night.
Yeah, please come.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. That was awesome. Let me get back to, we are a little bit behind, but that's okay. That was great. Oh, we do have another guest with us. I just noticed that. The Honorable Barbara Favola. We did recognize earlier a few others. So hello, Senator Favola. Thank you for being with us this evening.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much, Julius. I always enjoy your programs. They're very informative and very inspirational too. So thank you.
Right. So what we're going to do now, we're going to go into our housing committee. Let me set something up because we want to show you something, and then our housing committee. So Kellen and Wells, you're here, right? And I think Byron, you're all on the call?
Yes.
All right, so let me get this up and going here. If I can do this right. You know me, I'm just, give me a second here. Okay, give me just a second.
You could call them, please.
All right, give me just a second. It's coming here. It's only gonna be about 2 minutes and then we're gonna talk about it.
Yes, our first speaker is Wells Harrell, followed by Ann Bodine. Good morning.
Good morning, Madam Chair, Mr. Schwartz, members of the board. My name is Wells Harrell. I'm a homeowner in East Falls Church, and I'm here to voice my enthusiastic support for the staff's proposed framework on missing middle. I love my neighborhood, and sometimes when you love something, you just want to share it with others. That's what missing middle is about. It's also about choice, giving more families the choice to live in our residential neighborhoods. Maybe that's why missing middle is so popular. According to a recent survey of over 12,000 people in metro areas across the country, over 60% support missing middle, including 62% in the DC area. Missing middle is popular among people of color who were excluded from our residential neighborhoods by single-family zoning in the first place. It's also popular among young people, millennials like me and Gen Z, who have seen our incomes fail to keep pace with the skyrocketing costs of housing. It's also popular among renters, the majority of our county, for whom homeownership in Arlington is becoming increasingly impossible. Missing middle is about choice. The proposed framework, as the July work session approaches, gives you, the county board members, a choice. We see 170 homes torn down every single year. Do you choose to let some of those homes be replaced with missing middle homes that add more variety, increase more capacity, and cost less than the big expensive mansions that would go up instead? And do you choose to make Arlington more inclusive by allowing more of us to call neighbors our neighbors? I have to say, I am excited as we go into this. We're excited, and I hope that you are excited too. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Harrell.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry. Not acceptable. We're not going to boo our fellow residents in this room, okay?
All right. Everyone, let me get this other screen up. My blood pressure went up. I'm just joking. All right. So everyone can hear me? Thumbs up? You can hear me? We're good? I'm going to turn it over to our housing committee, but before we do that, I just want everyone who's here to understand again where we are at NAACP. I just showed you public testimony of one of our members of the housing, Wells, and I want everyone, if you want, to give him a virtual hand clap for standing up there on Saturday and speaking truth to power. Middle missing is where
everyone.
We want to go.
Nice to see so many active residents this morning. This is
Katie Crystal, for those watching online, Chair of the County Board. Joined today by my colleagues, Ms. Garvey, Mr. DeFerranti, and Mr. Carantonis in person. Due to medical reasons, Mr. Dorsey.
This is what happens when you don't have your tech folks here, right? Things just get out of control, Kellen. All right. I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Kellen McBeth, but the chair of our housing committee. Just understand and know that the NAACP will not waver, is not moving, and we've made our position quite clear to everyone here in the community. I see you smiling, Gail. That's how we do. There's a number of entities, and I respect all of that, in our community who are going to be for and against what's about to happen, what we think where we're headed, right? But make no mistake about it, I tell folks, you got to go back and look through the historical lens, right, of all things housing here in Arlington. And from there, you will develop a perspective, if you have any level of empathy and understanding of our community, about where we were, where we're at now, and where we need to go. And though mental missing housing study was going, it won't solve all the problems. It moves the needle in the right direction. Okay. And we as a committee, we as a branch have taken that position on. And we're going to fight and we're going to work hard. We may have to compromise somewhere down the road, and that's okay. But you're going to hear a lot of noise in the community. You may have already, and that's okay too, right? But it's no reason for us to get to a point to where we're disrespecting each other and disrespecting our public officials. Okay, that's the ugly devil is rearing his head now, y'all. Okay, I see you smiling again, Gail. You know exactly why I'm from the South, y'all. I've seen this all before. So let's continue to stay together with all this. If you have not written in, I think there still may be time, but I'll leave it up to the Housing Committee. But as your leader, I just want you to know that there's a lot going on. It's not just criminal justice and education. Housing is a big issue right now, and we're going to be working hard with everyone in the community. So with that said, Kellen, I'm going to turn it over to you and the team. I think Wells is here and Brian to give us some kind of updates. And I know many of us, and I'll say this too, right? We are members of the Civic Federation. All right, we are members. That don't mean we agree, we lockstep with everything they do. We can agree to disagree on certain things. And there was a proclamation that was brought up last week, and I'll tell you that we're not on board with that. It came out like a thief in the night, 10:30 at night. We're not there, okay? So Kellen and Brian, and I think Mike might be here already, and Wells, the floor is going to be yours to talk through a few things, but I thought folks here need to hear it from me as well, that we're going to be fighting this out, okay? All right, so over to you, Kellen.
JD, and I want to echo what you said about Wells' comments before the county board. It was really inspiring to see that, and I think you did a phenomenal job representing our position and the position of a lot of Arlington residents on missing middle and supporting increasing our housing choice, increasing the potential for more diversity within our neighborhoods throughout the county. So thank you very much for giving that really inspiring testimony before the county board this weekend, Wells. And thank you for helping to lead our policy effort and advocacy effort around missing middle. Wells has been one of the lead players within our housing committee on this topic for at least the last close to a year at this point now. So thank you for that. So as JD said, the housing committee is quite busy this summer. Missing middle is obviously one of the top priorities that we have right now, just because it is there's a lot of attention around the issue. It's going to be coming before the board for the work session soon. We're going to be following closely as staff shapes the final sort of ordinance changes and brings that before the county board this fall. And we have been quite clear that we're very supportive of the direction that staff has proposed. We think that the missing middle is not the perfect solution to increasing diversity within Arlington neighborhoods or achieving affordable housing within the county, but it is a really important step in that direction. And that's what we need to see. I think our letter, both in March, which laid out our kind of high level zoning reform goals for the community that we sent to the county board, as well as our follow-up letter specifically on missing middle that we sent at the end of May, makes it clear that the current zoning regime that Arlington is living under is rooted in racist and discriminatory actions that leaders took 100 years ago. It is critically important that we overturn that regime and we open up all of our neighborhoods to more residents who historically have been unable to live there. And so for 70% of our land, which is currently zoned for single family homes, that means allowing people who are more economically diverse, more racially and ethnically diverse to live in those communities. And that's something that we have not done a good job, both because of zoning restrictions, but also because of the lack of programming and other supports to make affordable homeownership or even rental access within those neighborhoods a possibility for a lot of Arlingtonians. So we're excited that the county board is considering this. We urge them to move forward with adopting a ambitious missing middle program for the county and zoning changes. And we will definitely be working with other partners like the Sierra Club, the Alliance for Housing Solutions, and other advocates throughout the county, as well as residents, to ensure that our voices are heard, and they're heard in a respectful and positive way, because this is positive change for our community. This isn't hatred pushing back and just saying, no, we don't want things to change. We want the status quo. This is about what positive things we can move forward within our community and opening up our neighborhoods to more people. And I think that's critically important at this time, that we sort of throw open the doors and say that, we're not going to restrict people from living anywhere in our community. And all are welcome. In addition to our work around missing middle, we're currently continuing to monitor what's happening around Plan Langston Boulevard. I think the latest is that has been delayed by a bit. So I think previously we're expecting that draft plan to drop in a couple of weeks. It now looks like that could be a couple months. We've also been working very closely with the Metropolitan Washington Council of Governments on the regional analysis of impediments to fair housing choice, which is a mouthful, but essentially we've been serving on an advisory committee and providing advice and guidance for the last year on how we can make all of our communities in the DC metro area, including Arlington, more affordable, more accessible for protected classes. So that's based on race, disability, elderliness or age, source of income, lots of different factors that are really important to ensure that we're prioritizing people who've historically been marginalized, people whose interests have been left behind and out of housing considerations, to ensure that they're able to benefit from the economic prosperity within our region and our localities, and they have the ability to live in safe, decent, and affordable housing, throughout Arlington and throughout the Northern Virginia, DC metro area. So that effort is ongoing. We're hoping to have a event sponsored with the county as well as COG to help people understand and process. I think it's a 1,000+ report at this point. So it's a lot of information, but I think it's going to be really critical for Arlington community, or for Arlington as well as other communities, to look at these recommendations coming out of the process and adopt them and help move our communities forward, not just when it comes to zoning reform, which is also a piece of that effort, but also, increasing affordable housing access, working on expanding and strengthening our fair housing testing and enforcement protections, really critical things that right now we have really mixed results and mixed, I would say, dedication to a lot of these areas, not just in Arlington, but throughout the region. So those are some of the key things that we're working on. They're really big things. This is not going to be a relaxing summer for the Housing Committee because there's so much going on, and they're really critically important things, and that's going to continue through the fall as well. But we have a fantastic team of dedicated and incredibly smart and talented people who are, working on these issues and trying to ensure that we're always thinking about the impact of any housing policy decision, who's benefiting from this. And is it just the people who historically have benefited, wealthier, whiter people, or Are we looking at people who have historically been marginalized and cut out of the benefits of a lot of different programs that we have or policy decisions in our community? So Brian, did you have anything that you wanted to add?
Yes, just a small addition to that. It was very inclusive in what you described. Just to note that we have received a lot of support recently from various organizations within the Commonwealth just recently, and JD posted in the chat this letter that was released by the Arlington Chamber of Commerce, broadly supporting the missing middle. Of course, there were suggestions and recommendations that they made, but I'd like to emphasize how widely accepted this is. And of course, as stated earlier, there are going to be opinions that support as well as that dissent, but I think that broadly speaking, there is a general consensus that change is necessary to be more inclusive and to increase the general vitality of the area as it relates to housing.
Thank you, Brian. And I know, JD, you had brought up the GLUP resolution that the Civic Federation had approved at the meeting. I think it was last week. So as he said, we've discussed it internally. It's something that I think we're very disappointed past the Civic Federation, although frankly, I'm not surprised. I think asking for essentially veto power by the neighborhoods over new developments. And I think in this case, a lot of it was spurred by an affordable housing development that a particular neighborhood does not want to happen. We see this all over the country, that people using the civic engagement process not to help people who need help, but to stop progress and to maintain the status quo that's benefiting the people who have access to power and access to wealth. And that's not something that we're okay with at the NAACP. That's something we're going to continue to fight against. And we're working on our response to the Civic Federation's actions. But it was very disappointing to see that pass, and disappointing that that's the direction that at least a majority of the Civic Federation delegates decided to go in last week. So we're for looking out for people who are typically not well represented in the civic federations. And I think that's well known throughout our community, and people who historically have not been well represented in the seats of power in general. And that's not just Arlington, that's true for communities across the country. And so that's going to be our motivating force to ensure that especially Black and Brown residents, their voices are heard, and that we're continuing to advocate for solutions that are going to ensure that they're benefiting just as lots of other groups have benefited in the last 100 years and more in our community. So stay tuned for next steps from the NAACP.
Thank you for the update, Mr. Chair, Vice Chair. Is Wells here with us? I thought he was earlier. He may have jumped off. Is Mike, you here?
Hi, JD, I'm here.
Is Mike here? Is Mike, you able to come on?
Hey, Mr. President, I'm here. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but I just can't see you.
Okay, yeah, I apologize. I'm actually in an airport right now, so I apologize for any background noise. I just want to thank the chair and the vice chair just briefly for their efforts, kind of leading the effort. I wanted to weigh in briefly on the missing middle. The county has told us that, missing middle isn't going to make it more affordable for Black and Brown residents until we get up to that 6, 7, and 8 mark. And so obviously at the NAACP, we're here for the advancement of colored people. So we're going to be highly focused on that. Most importantly, missing middle really creates a precedent for the first time in Arlington to reform our zoning laws, which, as our chair mentioned, are deeply rooted in systems of racism and oppression. So folks, we're really at a crisis when it comes to affordable housing. I don't use that word lightly, but it is a crisis here in our community. We must get this through. We must do all that we can to weigh in. The consequences, if we don't do this, are really irreparable. So again, I'd like to thank the committee just for all their work. I'm coming back from 2 back-to-back vacations, so I'm fired up. I'm ready to go to keep up the good fight. So thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Third VP. Wells, I did want to give you the floor. Sorry I couldn't make it down there Saturday morning. I was getting ready for another event, but I think Brian may have showed up briefly. I don't know, my patience probably would have ran thin real quick. Maybe they would have been solid had I got up. But anyway, Wells, anything you want to add? Because we really appreciate you stepping up.
Absolutely, and I was more than happy to speak at the public comment session last Saturday. Even though, as you saw toward the end, it got a little rowdy, but that's the work, right?
Yeah.
And I'm more than happy to do it. I mean, again, I just want to thank Kellen and Mike and others on the committee for the spectacular work they've done so far in this really important area. I completely agree with everything that they have said. This is this isn't a silver bullet. This is an important step, but it's just one step toward making Arlington a more inclusive place, toward integrating our neighborhoods, toward expanding housing opportunities for people of color and lower income people. So I'm really proud to be part of that work, and I'm planning on keeping up the fight.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you all for everything. There's a few questions. We'll get around to these later, but we got to move forward. So thank you to the Housing Committee. Let's give our Housing Committee a virtual hand clap, everyone. Virtual hand clap. They're out there on the battlefield. I tell folks, being a military combat veteran, I tell them, look, you're going to go out there on the battlefield for social justice and civil rights, and we not waving no white flag, okay? You charge the berm, you get over the berm, and you attack, right? So they have been doing it, and I'm so proud of everyone on that team. All right, now we're going to pivot to some good news. We have our scholarship award recipient presentation. So tonight you're gonna hear who they are, right? You're gonna the scholars we've identified for this year. I think Leah Evans from our scholarship committee is gonna be presenting, giving us that brief tonight. And if many of you don't know, I say this all the time. I say Leah. Leah is one of our first scholarship recipients from the Britain Foundation. What year was it, Leah?
2013.
2013, she went off to college, right? All right, let me get the schools right. You went to where you go first?
I went to Johns Hopkins for undergrad.
Went to Johns Hopkins for undergrad,
Yeah.
and then master's
From Georgetown.
And
Yeah.
you're pursuing something right now.
Well, yeah, I'm hoping to go to medical school.
Medical school.
That's the end goal.
But this is where your donations, right? Years ago in our scholarship program, this is where the kind of work, we've had a number of scholars, but Leah has come back. She's back in the area. She's still going to school, as you said, and she's joined back up with our scholarship committee. And she's just been, some of her time dedicated here, giving back, right? And because she was one of the recipients and we were able to help her just a little bit, right? So thank you, Leah, for being with us. And with that being said, I'm going to turn it over to you. I think the sharing capability is there. You can go ahead and do your thing. Floor is yours.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. Just give me 1 second. Can everyone see that? Can I get a thumbs up if everyone can see that? Okay, great. Okay, well, thank you, President Spain, for that wonderful introduction. Again, my name is Leah Evans, and I am a member of the Arlington Branch Scholarship Committee. So as a past recipient of the Willard Woodson Britton Jr. Foundation Scholarship, as well as on behalf of the fellow committee members, specifically Adora Williams, Karen Nightingale, former Jill DeWitt, Susan Cunningham, and our newest member, Octavia Johnson, it is my pleasure to be able to present to you the Arlington Branch NAACP Scholarship Class of 2022. Okay, there we go. So actually, let me open this up a bit more. Okay, great. Oh, wait. Okay, so this year there were 2 types of scholarship awards given to new students. The first being the Arlington Branch Future Leaders Scholarship, which is a $10,000 a year renewable scholarship for 4 years. And the second being the Arlington Branch NAACP one-time scholarship, which is an award amount of $1,500. The Future Leader Scholarship is made possible by a generous donation from Amazon. So thank you, Amazon, for that funding. And this is actually the second year that we are able to provide this scholarship award to our students. So that's been really exciting. And then our one-time award scholarships are actually made possible by donations that are made to the branch by members like you. So thank you all to have donated to the branch's scholarship fund. The recipients for these awards were selected after a thorough community level review, a committee, scholarship committee level review, as well as an executive committee level review. Each application was reviewed with consideration based on the applicant's academic achievements, their in-school involvement, community service, evidence of any leadership potential, as well as an exhibited commitment to supporting and advancing the ideals of the NAACP. Financial need was a consideration specifically for the Future Leaders Scholarship. I will say that the vast majority of the applications that we received this year were extremely competitive, from their high school curriculum rigor to the level of community service, civic engagement. They were all pretty stellar applicants, in my opinion. And the scholarship committee had a very, very difficult time this year trying to decide on what students would receive what awards. And I think we would have had an even more difficult time had we not had that initial community level review. So I would like to take this time to thank the volunteers who volunteered to read these applications in the community level review, specifically Jenny Apter, Peter Harnick, Merritt Gillard, Carol Lieber, Juliet Hisney, Bill Fogarty, Christina Armstrong, Elizabeth Fabrizio, and Cheryl Coleman Hall. So thank you to you all for reading these applications. This year, the branch is fortunate enough to be distributing $95,500 worth in scholarships, specifically for the 2022-2023 school year. This number includes our scholarships that are going to our new 2022 recipients, as well as any past students who are receiving either the Britton Foundation Scholarship, which is a 4-year renewable $5,000 a year scholarship made possible by funding from the Willard Woodson Britton Jr. Foundation, and then our 5 continuing Future Leader Scholars from last year. So this year we received 20 applications, 19 of which came from specifically Arlington residents. Almost 50% of those applicants plan to attend colleges in Virginia, and 3 are going to HBCUs, which is super cool. Their average GPA was a 3.75, so pretty competitive. And all of the applications that we received were extremely impressive. And regardless of whether or not our applicants received an award, I think all of our applicants deserve a quick round of applause for their efforts and their academic accomplishments from this past year. So now for the awardees. So the first scholarship being awarded tonight is the Arlington Branch Future Leader Scholarship. These recipients needed to specifically be Arlington residents with a minimum GPA of 275. And in order to qualify for the renewal or the award renewal, they have to maintain a 3.0 GPA in college. So our first Future Leaders Scholar is Sarah Berhe Abraha. Sarah Berhe Abraha is a graduate of Washington Liberty. She is a member of the Model UN and volunteered as a peer mentor. She was also involved in social justice advocacy and specifically worked on local efforts to help ratify the Equal Rights Amendment. She will be attending Pomona College in California to study sociology, and she hopes to utilize her education in sociology to help better her community. So congratulations to Sarah Berhe Abraha. Next, we have Zoe Davis. Zoe Davis graduated from Yorktown High School, and while there, she actually helped to co-found the Black Student Union, and she led a petition to having an African American history class made available at Yorktown High School. And of course, that petition was successful, so now students at Yorktown will be able to enroll in an African American history studies class because of her work. So thank you for that, Zoe. For college, she will be attending North Carolina A&T, where she plans to study animal science with a minor in computer science. And after undergrad, she would like to attend veterinary school. So congratulations to Zoe Davis. Next, we would like to recognize a student who was originally awarded a Future Leader Scholarship, but unable to accept the monetary award. This is Belen Yeshigeta. She is also a graduate of Washington Liberty, and she served as a community organizer as the co-founder of Generation Ratify, which is a youth-led movement to help ratify the Equal Rights Amendment. She plans to attend Columbia University in the fall, where she will major in history and political science, and she hopes to attend law school after undergrad and use her education to hopefully start a nonprofit that focuses specifically on social and criminal justice reform. So congratulations to Belen Yeshigeta. Lastly, we have the Arlington Branch NAACP One-Time Awards. This scholarship, again, was made possible by donations to the branch's scholarship fund by individuals like you all. So again, thank you for making this possible for these students. This particular award requires the student to have a minimum 2.5 GPA. So this award will be going to Mashrab Zaman. Mashrab Zaman graduated from Wakefield High School, and he actually moved to the United States from Bangladesh about 2 years ago. And despite only being here for a little over 2 years, he became heavily involved in extracurricular activities and community service. He was a representative of his class's Student Government Association. He also served as vice president of his school's finance and investment club, and he found the time to volunteer with the American Red Cross as well as the Green Valley Civic Association. He will be attending George Mason University in the fall with plans to study management information systems and finance with a minor in supply chain management and accounting. So again, congratulations, Mashrab Zaman, for this award. And so to our scholarship class of 2022, congratulations on your academic achievements. We are so very proud of you. And as you embark on this next chapter of your education, please remain committed to service and generating positive changes in the communities that you will now call home for the next 4 years. So that concludes the scholarship announcements, but to the branch members, if you are interested in making a difference in the lives of Arlington County students and you would like to get involved in our scholarship program, the scholarship committee is specifically looking for members who are interested in volunteering their time to be mentors for our scholarship recipients. There should be an email coming out hopefully soon with more details in regards to the mentorship aspect of the branch's scholarship program. So keep a lookout for that. And if you have any questions in advance of that email coming out, make sure to send us an email. I make sure to leave our email in the chat. Also, if you are interested in just being a member of the scholarship committee, please shoot us an email. And if you would like to donate to the branch's scholarship fund, please do that as well. Again, one of these scholarships are literally made possible just by your donation. So please consider donating to the branch's scholarship fund. And with that, I thank you for this time and congratulations to all of our scholars.
Thank you. Thank you. Virtual hand clap. Thank you so much. Leah, hold on just a second. I know Deborah Britton, one of our sponsors, is joining us on the call. I hate to put her in a situation. Deborah, do you anything? I know we're gonna have another ceremony down the road. Would you like to say a few words, Deborah, at all?
I think Leah has said it all. Thank you so much, Leah. And congratulations. Yeah.
Thank you, Deb. Thank you. Let's give all Leah and our new awardees a round of applause. We'll have a formal ceremony in a few months, and I know they will be recognized at our banquet this year. Thank you. Great job. Okay, we're going to move on to our Political Action Committee. So Megan's with us. Get Megan here. Hi, Megan. Good to see you again. Is
Hello.
Jamie going to join with us tonight, or is she?
I think she's just listening in.
Just
tonight.
listening,
We just
okay.
have one big announcement.
All right, so I'm going to turn it over to you.
Thank
Okay.
you, Mr. President. And as Julius actually mentioned at the beginning of our meeting, tomorrow is primary day in Virginia. So we encourage everyone to get out there and vote. On the ballot tomorrow are the Democratic candidates for the Democratic Party's nomination, and that is for Congressional District 8. The Republican Party holds a caucus, so tomorrow is just the Democratic candidates. So get out and vote tomorrow. Exercise your right to vote. This is how we can all make sure our voices are heard. So I am going to drop in the chat the Arlington elections website so you can get all the information that you need about voting. Also, there is a button on that screen, but I will also drop another link to the Virginia elections page. This is where you can check your voter registration status. So I highly encourage you to do that. This is also where you can check your polling place. As a heads up, there have been a handful of polling place location changes in Arlington. I think there's a list of 4 or 5 on that Arlington website. So be sure to check that out. Make sure you know where your polling place is tomorrow, as well as the times that those locations will be open. So again, get out there, vote in the primaries tomorrow so that you have a say in who is on the ballot in November. And that's for Congressional District 8. And thanks. That's all I got.
Thank you very much, Megan. Really, yeah. So I said it earlier on, we started tomorrow, June 21st. Let's get out there and and do what we have to do. Go vote. All right. We're going to get done ahead of schedule today, and I think that may be a good thing for everyone. I want to ask the chair of our Environmental and Climate Justice Committee, Gabrielle Cantor. Do you have a few things, anything you want to pass tonight, Gabrielle?
Yes. Hi, JD. Hi,
Hey.
everybody. Nice to see everyone here. I hope everyone enjoyed the beautiful weather outside this weekend.
Yes.
So we had a meeting at the beginning of the month, as we always do. Next month, we're having our committee meeting on July 10th. We might have it slightly earlier due to a conflict with the executive committee meeting. But just so that everyone's aware of that. But basically what we discussed a little bit about missing middle and how it affects environment and climate justice. We talked about the Tree Canopy Equity Fund, which launched last month, I believe it was, with Eco Action Arlington. And we were very excited to see that it's got a lot of money towards it, and we're going to continue to fundraise for it. But this will give us a start to do the grassroots campaigning of getting those trees in Arlington into specific communities that are not necessarily getting them at the rates that we want to see them. So trying to increase the tree canopy in underserved communities. We discussed, that tree canopy fund is I believe open right now. So if anyone is interested in getting a free tree, you can do that. But yeah, as part of our efforts, we are focusing on specific communities because we want to see more equity when it comes to the tree canopy. And then I guess just as a final note, we're going to be looking for a temporary environment and climate justice chair.
We have one. We have one. We're good.
Oh, you do.
No, not that. Yes. Yes.
Well, if you're interested in being part of the chairship, we are always looking for people to lead stuff. So definitely still looking for anyone who is interested. And we can reach out to me either directly in the chat or I'll put my information there. And you're welcome to come to the next committee meeting as well as participate in any future activities that we're doing. So I think that's it for us.
Thank you, Gabrielle. And I do owe you a call. There is someone who stepped up and volunteered recently. So we'll speak and I'll tell you all about it. Okay. Just
sounds great.
They'll finish out the administration for you. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Great. All right. Last thing on the agenda here, item we have is we have our criminal justice chair here. Heather, thank you so much. Let me get you here.
Hey, I'm here.
Yeah, where are the fur babies at? Okay, here we go. We're ready.
There's one here. And he's always on the lap during meetings because he will bark. But and we've learned from past meetings that when he snores, you can hear that too. So, but he's awake right now, so hopefully he won't snore. I think I'd like to make this quick. I'd like to start off tonight by acknowledging just my excitement and pleasure that we have a federal holiday for Juneteenth. We have a federal Juneteenth holiday. It is long overdue. And also to recognize that it is something that before there was a federal holiday for this, a lot of people, too many people didn't even know what Juneteenth was and what the significance was, or even that the Emancipation Proclamation wasn't actually the end of slavery in this country. So acknowledge that. Hope everyone honored and celebrated in the best way you know. And also to wish all the dads a happy Father's Day. Lots of dads on this call. and lots of people who are fatherly to young people in our community, even if they are not their own children. So happy Father's Day to everyone. And so most of what I would like to address was addressed previously in the call tonight with our guest speaker. Absolutely delighted to have someone that we are very hopeful will be a part of our community, not just a liaison to our community, our NAACP community, and also our Arlington County community. I'm very hopeful that we will have the ability to do good work with her and with the Community Oversight Board. We're in a holding position with the request that we made to the Department of Justice for the investigation into the deaths at the Arlington County Detention Facility. We are still waiting to hear where that's going to go. We're hopeful that it goes somewhere that is meaningful for our community to get answers and to make sure that what has happened in the past doesn't happen to anyone else in custody in Arlington in the future. So we have a couple of other issues that we're going to start focusing on in the future, in the near future. I'm very excited to know that the restorative justice program has just started in May was just put into place. So we've got a lot of work to do as liaisons and to help facilitate diverting juvenile offenders into a restorative justice rather than into the criminal justice loop that is a trap for young people, unfortunately. I think we owe it to them to try to do better, and we're going to do what we can to work together with the county on that issue. And then finally, we're hoping at some point during this year to get to have a presentation to young people in Arlington about a Know Your Rights program with the Black Law Enforcement Officers Association. And that is something I think that would, if we can, I doubt it'll happen before the end of the summer, but that's one of those great things to do, great services for young people to avoid what you said earlier in the call, JD, which is what an idle mind is I don't know how you said it, I grew up in Maryland. Okay. So,
totally get it. I understand, Heather.
We're still have lots of work to do. Our committee meeting is on this Wednesday at 6 to 7. Join us if you can. If you would like to join, I will put my email address.
Let's talk about just real quick.
Yeah.
If you don't mind me just bringing to light that we are looking to have the Commonwealth Fraternity
for
the County of Arlington and the City of Falls Church at our next meeting in July to talk about a few things. You have to understand that there's a lot of sensitivity surrounding criminal justice, sometimes legal issues that we even ourselves perhaps don't talk about much, simply because a lot investigations may be ongoing, and we know that there's folks that are within an earshot of the NAACP trying to ascertain what we're doing, but there's a strategy involved. We have a number of contacts and people that are working to the aforementioned letter that we sent the DOJ, Special Litigation Unit. We're not trying to be too forceful. We just want the DOJ to kind of come in here, right, and do a clear evaluation of what's of the system. And I share this with y'all because, and Heather and I have talked about this a good bit, Esquire, when you're doing an investigation, right, the only way you can truly do an investigation, independent investigation, is that you have to go inside, right? You can't hire from outside, contract outside to work around the edges. To do a thorough investigation, you have to come in, you have to talk with personnel, you have to speak with current and past inmates, personnel, even themselves, when you're talking about pattern and practices. And everything we're hearing up to this date is not there. That's not what it's more of like, well, we're going to hire somebody from inside to do quality assurance. And we're going to perhaps look at doing some contractors to come in to really make, I mean, there's many nuances associated with investigation. So to clear all of that, right, we feel strongly that the only team, the only entity is that of the DOJ. And we would hope that we would have other leaders in the community to view it the same way, because if not, what you're going to get, you're really not going to get what you hope not to find anything. But what we do know for certain is that there's some there, right? Is that absent proper policies, right? You're going to have people dying. And we know there's been a number of policy initiative things that have changed shortly after some deaths, right? Because something happened, right? Now, the public may not know a lot about it, but there's issues. There are policies, there's practices and procedures that are going on that need to be fixed. And so it's still on the hearts and minds of a lot of folks. I tell you, I can't walk around the community without folks saying, hey, what's going on with the jail stuff? I mean, like, and you have folks pointing the finger still at each other. So we want to get down to the bottom of this, and as a community, and I think we'll be there at some point in time. Heather, again, I'm sorry to jump in, but the Know Your Rights piece, we'll get that out later this year. We're working with community policing and all that good stuff. I've been speaking with Deputy Chief Vincent, so we're going to look at some programming, and there's a lot on the plate. We still haven't gone back to, we some FOIA stuff that we brought up about the hiring practices and how we, we talked about this before, the current chief of police, how they were brought on, and national search, and how did that play out? And yeah, so we still have those records to go through. And so there's a lot for the Criminal Justice Committee that we're working on. But with that, Heather, anything else you think the membership should know right this time before?
No, I don't think so. But I put my email in the chat. We'll have a different email. We'll have different emails eventually. But for now, if you would like to join our committee and join our monthly meetings, we meet on the 4th Wednesday of the month.
Yep.
And that's
it.
Wednesday.
Is it? Yeah.
Isn't it? I think it is, because
that's it. Yep, that's it.
So it's this Wednesday. We'd love to see you. We'd love to have more hands on our deck I'm going to mix some metaphors, but we'd love to have more voices, more eyes on things, and more hands and things. So please join us if you.
But hands that want to do the work of the NAACP and not just be. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Thank you, Heather, so much.
Thank you.
And appreciate you. All right, everyone. Just so you make note of this, we will meet in July. However, for August, we're taking a break. Everybody gonna take a break. The exec committee voted 2 weeks ago. I brought it up for discussion, and everyone needs to have a little mental rest, a little relaxation, enjoy themselves, get away. This is going to be here when we get back. So for the month of August, your branch of the NAACP, barring an emergency, will not be, out of service, but everyone needs to go and kind of recharge themselves and take some time off with their family or with themselves. And that's what we're going to do. So we'll come back. We'll finish hard in July, hearing from my Commonwealth fraternity, what I think is going to be a very enlightening conversation, simply because the nature of her job and some of the things that we kind of do here at the NAACP. With that being said, I am going to, did I miss any officials, Madam Secretary, that I did not recognize?
I don't see any others.
Okay, great. What I'll do is, like I've always done, I am going to officially close the meeting, and I'll stick around for 10 minutes. And if you want to chit chat, we'll be here, but the meeting is now adjourned. Thank you everyone for showing up.